Just create a very quick and easy account. You enter your camper's information, like their grade, and then it'll generate all the camps that are available to you.
Thank you so much for sharing all this information and joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And this has been your Community Spotlight with Peak Initiative right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. As we've been saying all morning, all evening, all afternoon, and all night, today is hump day. We're going to try to make it today. I thought everything was fine, had everything revved up, ready to go. By the way, this afternoon and after the top 5 at 5, I got some more questions for you all. It's going to be like an open line again. I got questions, but you got to call 833-212-1017 so you can hold on for a question. Then I'm going to give you a question. I guess we can try to answer it together, but I prefer you do that. I'm just saying. I prefer that you deal with some of the things that are going on in this fair city we call Milwaukee. I mean, the way things are just going down, it's just going to continue to go down. I looked at a story, WISN.com, written by Emily Pofall, reporter. Milwaukee Public Schools is working to address a $46 million deficit with a proposed $1.6 billion budget for the next fiscal year, addressed by a board committee on yesterday. Sounds harmless enough. Superintendent Brenda Casalius has made sweeping changes to manage the district's financial challenges, which include rising inflation, stagnant state aid, and declining enrollment. You can't fight inflation. State aid can't get higher because you don't have enough kids. But anyway, I digress. It hasn't gone over easily with the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association, which protested 200-plus staff cuts are members of the public. We're trying to build a plane and fly it at the same time. Angela Harris, an MPS teacher. That is what leaders do. Like, how did that not click? What, you got to build it and then fly it? It'll cost too much. We've seen that happen. That's why we're in the mess we're in today. Well, an MPS parent, Amanda Sepinen, said, we are dismantling our school communities. In what way? You have less students. You have less people. You need less teachers. You need less paraprofessionals. You need less principals. The proposed cut includes 150 teachers and 138 paraprofessionals and cost of living raises for employees. It also includes cuts to administrative positions and assistant principals. Caselli has told the MPS Committee on Strategic Planning and Budgeting on Tuesday for the next 2 years, we're in a very tight position. The district is also preparing for the expiration of a $242 million referendum passed by Milwaukee voters, to which we were lied to by the last superintendent, which will run out in 2028. I added that. Rising costs are adding to the financial strain, with MPS spending an additional $20 million on benefits this year and anticipating $500,000 in fuel costs for April and May. And everyone feels it in their gas tank, and I know what that's like, particularly diesel buses. Long term, the district is relying on additional state aid to avoid a grim financial outlook. She warned that MPS could face a $400 million deficit within 5 years. Now, efforts to secure state funding have faced setbacks. Bipartisan bill that would have provided millions of dollars to districts statewide was voted down last week after opposition from Senate Democrats and some Senate Republicans, both of which are stupid. So now you've shot yourself in the foot. What does this mean for MPS? What does this mean for this system that everybody says they love to fight for, but you only fight when it comes to money? You never fight when it comes to education. You never fight when the scores are low. You never fight when it's a teacher that needs to be fired. You never fight when it matters. You only equate children to money in a teacher's pocket. I wanted you to hear that number so that you understand exactly what you're up to. The district is also preparing for the expiration of a $242 million referendum passed by Milwaukee voters when we got lied to by the last superintendent, which will run out in 2028. And then rising costs are adding to the financial strain with an additional $20 million this year in benefits and another $500,000 just on fuel costs in April and May. But never fear, because in 5 years, or within that time, $400 million deficit. What do you think happens? Well, let's do the numbers. People always cry and complain about numbers, right? So let's look at the numbers. Let's see exactly how much this is going to cost. Well, let's see. 400 divided by, see if I can get that far. Wow. Okay. It's not that bad of a hit, but if you can divide $400,000 into $1.6 billion, that's a lot of money. The problem is it's a pretty high percentage. So you're talking devastation. I wonder how long Brenda Caselius' contract is. I wonder, will they run out right before the 4 year? I'm just saying. What are they trying to tell you? Well, number one, the district's final budget vote is set for May 28th. So you should be there. Today is May 20th. You have 8 days to figure out what it is you should do. Number 2, find out who your representative is on the Milwaukee Board of School Directors, or whatever they call it, some nonsense name, and call them and tell them, this is what I want you to do. If that man or woman doesn't do what you tell them to do, then promptly start a campaign to make them lose their seat. At this point, someone is either going to come take over MPS, or MPS will be no more. Mark my words. This has become an inflection point. If you listen to the teachers union and kowtow to what they want and break the school, you will go the way of those that used to run printing presses for newspapers. The union swore to the bitter end they'll never get rid of you. And by the time they got to the end, they were gone. I still remember the last printer, the last union worker at Tribune Tower in Chicago that turned off the press for the last time, right before it became automated. So where education's going. It won't be automated. They'll just do it with less people. If you keep not coming to the table and working with public schools, you don't have to worry about being public school only. You won't have to worry about ever being public school only. She told you, within 5 years, you have a $400 million deficit. No worries. In the near future, the words you may never hear again. Dear MPS parent.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 101.7 The Truth.
The Brew Crew are back on June 2nd.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the San Francisco Giants.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
Brewers baseball is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in June 2nd at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
On Thursday, May 28th, join Sharp for the 10th annual Unwrapped MKE from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs, serving thousands of urban elementary students in schools throughout Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody. They are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of a classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this: nonsensical.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 to 6, live on YouTube and broadcasting on 101.7 The Truth.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 833-212-1017. I keep tying up my headphone. Keep putting a knot in it. Drives me crazy. And it always looks like a knot, but then when I look at it, there's no knot. So I give up. Maybe I'm hallucinating. That's it. That's what I'm doing. 833-212-1017 is the number. So before the break, in my open, I was talking about MPS. You know, at the rate we're going, we're not going to have to bother with Milwaukee Public Schools. Black parents, white parents, Hispanic parents, Asian parents, no parents will have to worry about it because at this rate, there won't be one. Either the state's going to take it over, the county's going to take it. You should have let Tom Barrett take it over when he was going to do it. But you cried and you moaned, oh, state legislature, please don't do that. Now look at the state we're in. Now, I say we because I'm a taxpayer. And I pay taxes. And parts of my taxes go to a school system that my children didn't go to, but I still had to pay. That's why I don't have a problem with school choice and all those things. The people that, it's MPS only. That's too bad. I'm pretty sure you sent your children to the best public school you could. That's why some people went to suburban and where they thought were the best, and then they got to lie and say that I support public schools. You just didn't send them to those, but you should send your kids there. Well, that makes you a hypocrite. But Milwaukee has lived with that forever, being lied to by teachers, lied to by politicians, who then send their children to other public schools because they have the money, they have the car, they have the ability to send their children somewhere that you can't. You have a state superintendent who literally said on my show she sent her kids when the school got bad to a Catholic school. But black, white, Hispanic, and Asian people who make under a certain amount of money should not be able to do that. They should have to send their kids to a failing school because it's public, and therefore the union members get to keep money, and we'll just run it into the ground until it dies. And then the union will say, oh, too bad, it was their fault. It makes no sense, but yet we continue to do this. So my question to you is, if MPS fails, where do black kids go? If MPS fails, right now, in the next 5 years, they could look at a $400 million deficit. We were crying about 46. A tad over 46 million, and we lost our head. Think about that. 400 million over 5 years. What do you do? Where will black children go? 833-212-1017. Take a picture. It's today. In the future. Right? 8 years. Where's your kid? Your kids are 4 now. Now your kid's 12. 8 years from now. Where'd it go? Is MPS there? Is MPS gone? Have we evolved into recognizing that education is education? Or are we giving parents a choice? You do understand, word has it, conspiracy theories and all that. Easiest way to control your children is send them to school. Now, some of the Republicans talk kind of, nonsensical. I heard Senator Ron Johnson, he was saying some nonsensical. No, it wasn't that he was saying nonsensical things, it's that he was piecing together nonsensical things, trying to make it one thing. And it just didn't make any sense. Like, I was like, dude, like you really can't believe that. But I heard him, this and this, and he was using instances that were anecdotal and putting them together and saying, see, that's why. So somebody did something one time, right? Like one group of people get welfare, therefore all people get welfare. It's like some of the things they believe just make no sense, but it's like a talking point. But we thought indoctrination in schools was going to happen in high school, and then we thought it was going to happen in, college, and then we thought, and now it's trickled all the way down to what book can be in the library for our kindergarten. And I don't understand that. But when the school tells the mother that a mother or a father don't have a right to correct their child or tell you what they want their child to do and not to do, that's a problem. I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, progressive, communist, socialist, what's left? I don't know. I don't care what you are. At some point, the parent should be in control of what happens to their child. You may know how to educate my child, but you don't know what to educate my child with, and that's what a parent is for. Well, we won't have to have that problem because in about 8 years, I don't think MPS will be there. Now, granted, your tax money will, but I don't think MPS will be there. Why is that? Because we're crying about $46 million. Can you imagine what they would cry about if it turned into 400? They would lose their mind. The YouTube Talking Text says, back to home show with them tablets with failed PWKs letting stream instead of learning. Here it is. Sincere said, back to home show with them tablets with failed PWKs letting stream instead of learning. I got it, homeschool. Is homeschool going to work when the parents themselves don't know what they're doing? Now, you need education. Don't get it twisted. Public school is a definite need, and it is a powerful tool for any kid, no matter where they're from, if they're able to learn. The problem is we make too many assumptions about what they learn. I think they're learning some things that they have no business learning while they're not learning other things. They're not learning reading, writing, and arithmetic. They're also not learning, what was it they're not learning DEI stuff. They're not learning, where's this nonsense coming from? And then the right sounds so idiotic when they say it because it doesn't make any sense. If that were the case, you would literally not have anybody voting Republican or independent or anything. This makes no sense. They're indoctrinating our children. Then get your kids out of school. Or are you too cheap that you want to keep your kids in the public school and not pay for it? Because it sounds like that's what it is, but that's okay. I say all this to say that at some point, we have to put the money into public schools the proper way, not just pile money into a teacher's pocket, because with all due respect, putting money in a teacher's pocket is not putting money in the classroom. That's putting money in a teacher's pocket. Should teachers be paid more? Absolutely. But they can only make what the market will bear. If you didn't make enough money, you shouldn't have took the job. That's what I say. Too bad. Can't complain about how much money police officers make if I actually took the job, signed on the dotted line, and here I am. I can't. Well, we don't make enough money. Then you shouldn't have taken the job. Should have stayed at home. Now, granted, you only work 10 hours out the year. 10 months out the year. Come on. Calm down, Felix. Talking to the YouTube chat. At some point, we have to realize and understand that in the end, it's going to take a concerted effort to get rid of elected officials, school board officials, city government officials to get what you want. They are not going to listen until the spigot runs dry. That means their salary. If you do it again, we're going to come after you, and we're going to move to get rid of you every single day. Like there's nothing left to do. On the talking text line, Todd said, "Hey, Dr. Ken, most school districts have big redundancy. I think that is the main problem. Teachers were smart in the 70s. They went after the benefits. Now it's very difficult to reverse course." It wasn't the teachers. It was the union, right? They followed their union. So yeah, I blame teachers maybe like 5% because they voted on it. But different districts have redundant. I've never been to a place that had maybe I grew up and I was, awestruck or something, just growing up in Chicago. The number of school districts we have in the United States of America is idiotic. You could bring MPS up into 4 or 5 different districts. We all know, watch this, you ready? In law enforcement, in order to control crime, they learned decades ago, the smaller the district, the better control they can have on crime. To a point. All things being equal, education level, socioeconomic pattern, joblessness, stuff like that. You can control for that. Now, that's all gone because the values have changed. So most school districts have great redundancy. It's sort of like hiring, right? The hiring in Brown Deer School District and the hiring in Milwaukee Public Schools and the hiring in Greendale and Glendale has got to be the same because you got to pass all the information that DPI says you have to have in order to be a certified teacher in Wisconsin, right? Yeah. So why isn't one person doing that? One group. That's a whole section and a whole thing that's gone out of every single school district. You could probably save $400 million just like that. But we don't do that. Redundancy. I get it. What redundancies at your job would literally put you out of your job? Oh, I got one. No, I'm just kidding. But at some point, we have to wake up to the fact. We have to wake up to the fact that at some point we have to make a change. And I was remiss. Hey, Quanda, what's going on? Attendance hall, study halls here. What's going on? I slid past you this morning because I saw Ron Sincere up in here. So, I gave him his black card back yesterday, so he should be happy. Mal got his back. Everybody got their card back, so everything should be good. So this school thing just has me worried. $400 million. Now, granted, I don't have to worry. I don't have kids in school. I don't have grandkids in school. So I don't have to worry. But you do. What are your thoughts? 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. When we come back, I just left black teachers. Well, may as well look at former politicians. And I was 1017 The Truth Traffic. Here's Debbie Lazaga.
Eastbound 94, we got some backups before 70th Street all the way through to about 35th. The westbound side backing up just about at 30th all the way to Hawley Road. Southbound 43 dealing with some delays basically from Silver Spring all the way down to about Locust. Northbound's just a little bit backed up from Fond du Lac Avenue up to North Avenue. 4394 northbound still has the delays coming out of the Mitchell interchange around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. After that, you're good to go pretty much all the way to the Marquette. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly sunny and cooler, a high of 54 at the lake, 60 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 43. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Want to protect our planet? The air we breathe, water we drink, and land we share? Real progress begins with birds. Yes, birds. The very ones we see and hear every day. On a walk, in the park, or simply out the window. That's because birds are more than birds. They're symbols. Sentinels that reveal the health of our planet and our people. And by helping them thrive, all of us thrive as well. Audubon is a place where birds matter, where habitats are protected, where communities are engaged, and where change takes flight. Because at Audubon, hope begins with birds. Progress begins with birds. It all begins with birds. Audubon.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. We were talking about teachers and unions and what we're going to do if MPS implodes and disappears and goes by the wayside, and public school choice versus public school. It's not versus. It's also and. Charter, also and. 77 said Memphis is ranked as the 5th worst school district in the country. Where's Milwaukee ranked? Where's Milwaukee ranked? Where's the worst school district in? Like Mississippi or something? I wonder where the worst school district. Well, it's only one way to find out. Why am I sitting here when I got technology sitting in front of me? Where is the worst school district in the United States of America? Oh, look at this. It's telling me I got to unlock my phone in order to. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So now when I ask it, it'll ask ChatGPT and Siri. But that way I'll know exactly where is the worst, the worst school district in America. Because we got to do something about it. So now I got to ask it again. Where is the worst school district in the United States of America? Yep. People waving outside at the avenue. Because if Memphis is number 5, I wonder, there is no single official worst school district. Several districts in the region are repeatedly identified in national reports as among the lowest performing. Clark County, which is, I don't know where that is. Houston, Baltimore, Cleveland, Detroit. Really doesn't tell me anything. ChatGPT didn't do their job that time. Anyway. Somebody said Detroit. Let me just ask. Worst performing school district. Where's this from? What's the source? Let me check the source first. Okay, what's this rough maps? I don't even know what this is. See, here's a problem when you look for stuff. It gives you sources, but you can't tell if the source is legitimate or not or just fake. So, yeah, we're going to delete that for the second. So I came across this story. And so we think we got trouble with MPS, but we got trouble with black politicians too. Or should I say ex-politicians? I don't know if you heard the story. This from JS Online. Already facing 2 separate felony charges, former Milwaukee City Attorney Tierman Spencer has been charged with violating the conditions of his bail weeks before a trial is set. In a complaint filed yesterday, Spencer attempted to phone an unnamed prosecutor earlier this month who had been tapped to testify as a witness in his upcoming case, violating a no-contact order previously issued by a Milwaukee County judge. In a voicemail, Spencer offered the attorney a potential estate case involving a property. The complaint says at worst, it's a veiled bribe. Spencer's phone was seized by investigators through a search warrant following his final pretrial conference at Waukesha County Courthouse. Spencer was initially resistive, but eventually offered his phone up after investigator ordered Spencer to turn around and place his hands behind his back so he could be taken into custody. If convicted of bail jumping, Spencer faces a maximum penalty of $10,000 in fines and 6 years in prison or both. So here's what has me going. Spencer's phone was seized by investigators through a search warrant following his final pretrial conference at the Waukesha County Courthouse. Spencer was initially resistive, but eventually offered up his phone after the investigator ordered Spencer to turn around and place his hands behind his back so that he could be taken into custody. What were you arresting him for? Were you arresting him for resisting or obstructing a search warrant? Like, I don't understand. What were you arresting him for? Because if I'm not mistaken, it's against the law to arrest somebody just so you could use that arrest, however weak, to get access to evidence or property. Last time I checked, I've been out the game a bit. Might be wrong. So if I think you have something in your car, and I want to get in your car, I wait till you drive, pull you over. Now, I just have to write you a ticket, but the rules by the police department, I'm just making it up as I go along. Not the rules part, but the department. Rules may say, or U.S. Supreme Court says, once I write you the ticket, it's a temporary seizure and I let you go. I don't have anything else to hold you on. I don't have anything else to do. But if I come up with something or figure out, hey, wait a minute, I can arrest him for this and add something to it just so I can take you into custody so I can say, now your car is prisoner property and now I got to search your car, that's a problem. Because now you only arrested me for that where normally you wouldn't arrest somebody for, or you made this what we call a summary arrest where you took me into custody for traffic, which is you really shouldn't be able to do unless you get a supervisor's permission. But, weirder things have happened. You can't do that. You can't arrest somebody because of something you think. So I wonder what he was arresting him for. I know with a search warrant, if you obstruct, you can get arrested. But you were only arresting him to get the article. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's legal, but it just sounds weird. So you threaten, like that alone should make you go, whoo. You threatened to arrest somebody if they didn't give you their phone and a search warrant? Wow. Interesting. And so my question is, why are they going after Spencer? Like, dude is no longer the city attorney. This is what happens. Watch this. This is what happens when people that you deem to be your friends come in, get you in office, or better yet, you got an office without their help. So now they got to get rid of you because they can't control you. But that's what happens. That's what happens. And I'm going to say this because people scream and holler, but what the hey? They scream and holler anyway. That is what happens in Milwaukee because you get taken advantage of. You think people are here to save you and they're not. You think people are going to give you this thing and they're not. They're here to take advantage of you. And then when you don't play games, the same people pop in and, oh, I'll take that elected position because that person is bad and I'm good. And you watch them hop from position to position to position to position. And they'll eventually run for governor and be like, look what all I've done. I don't understand. And that's a Milwaukee thing. That's just a weird Milwaukee thing. Y'all let people do stuff that you shouldn't let do. You get snookered, hoodwinked, bamboozled, and then, of course, just straight up robbed. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, sports and voting. I never thought those two things would go together, but hey, that and your calls, 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
On Thursday, May 28th, join Sharp for the 10th annual Unwrapped MKE from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs serving thousands of urban elementary students in schools throughout Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
You ever see the sign above the highway? The number of people that have been killed on the road? My wife, my son, and my unborn child were killed by a distracted driver. They were more than just a number.
Your phone isn't worth it. Buckle up, phone down. Brought to you by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. There's a story on the Griot that kind of struck me as, let me try to put this together. Congressional Black Caucus, enraged by the Supreme Court's gutting of the Voting Rights Act and subsequent Southern states' elimination of black representation, joined the NAACP's call, listen to this, to boycott athletic programs at public universities, demanding that institutions that remain silent in the face of attacks on black political power speak up or suffer economic consequences. So help me with something. All those players that play for public schools because they can't afford to go to a private school should get jacked, because your tax dollars that pay can somebody connect those dots for me? 833-212-1017. I don't understand. Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, says unprecedented moment featuring an unprecedented attack on black political representation. That is true, and therefore it requires an unprecedented response. I get it, but what about all the black players that play football and basketball and baseball? And he joined dozens of CBC members yesterday on Capitol Hill to sign the NAACP's boycott, which calls on black athletes and fans to divest their dollars from public state universities within the NCAA Southeastern Conference. So that means that if I go to a state school that gave me money to go to school, I should walk away? I don't understand what that is. They also urge incoming college athletes not to attend any university in a southern state that has not publicly condemned the wave of racially gerrymandering congressional maps that carve out majority black districts to obtain political advantages for the Republican Party in November midterms. Jeffrey slammed southern states, of course, and rightfully so. Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, unleashed Jim Crow-like racially oppressed tactics, unacceptable, unconscionable, and un-American. I agree. We believe that the silence of these institutions, this is what I'm having trouble with, is complicity. And we will not stand for it, said the New York leader who was poised to become the first African-American U.S. House Speaker should Democrats win the majority in November by overcoming the gerrymandering battle waged by President Donald Trump and the Republicans. They unanimously opposed supporting the SCORE Act, which would regulate name, image, and likeness compensation for universities and students, given the black voting rights issue. You know, a lot of those are black players, but I'm just putting it out there. I understand it, but Clark, CBC chairwoman, Representative Yvette Clark, said black political representation is not a side issue. This is not politics as usual. This is a defining moral moment for our country. The Congressional Black Caucus cannot support legislation benefiting major athletic institutions that continue to remain silent while black voting rights and black political power are systemically dismantled across the South. So you're telling somebody that you don't have the freedom to not speak on a topic, that you must speak up on it. What if they disagree with you? Then what? Your argument is not that they support it, but you're asking them that they don't remain silent. So what does that mean? They have to speak what you say they should speak? They have to say what you say they have to say, and then all of a sudden it's okay? Or do they have a right to speak up and say, kick rocks? I'm just asking. Just trying to be in the middle. Ben, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
I'm trying to. I need you to help frame this. Okay, this edict came out from Hakeem Jeffries in response to what's the question?
It came out from the Congressional Black Caucus. The chairwoman, U.S. Representative Yvette Clark, Democrat from New York.
Okay, and is the goal here to somehow use the athletes' influence to try and affect some sort of change?
The Congressional Black Caucus cannot support legislation benefiting major athletic institutions that continue to remain silent while black voting rights and black political power are being systemically dismantled in the South.
I kind of get it, but you're right. If you don't know what the answer, if you don't know what the statement will be, it may backfire on you.
Right.
That's a risky position to take. If you don't know what the other party is going to say, if you don't give them talking points that they're going to agree to, what if they say something counter?
NAACP President Derek Johnson spoke to reporters, said today is important not only for these young athletes to stand up, but the parents of those athletes understand what impact they could have. Those parents also must understand that the denial of representation is also a form of exploitation. But what if they stand up and say, hey, I'm okay. Like, I need that because I want to go to school. I want to be the first black person to go to school, and I got a scholarship, so I'm going to the school. Like, then what?
Are we talking scholarships in terms of like non-athletic scholarships? Or are we talking about guys who generate revenue? Because if I'm a Southeastern Conference football player,
right,
and they're paying me to play football,
right,
I don't know if they would necessarily buy into that.
Well, that's why they don't support the SCORE Act, because they don't want money. They don't want them to be so emboldened that they don't really care what the politician says, because I don't have to care whether I go pro, because I could play 5 years in college and get paid and go about my business.
It gets messy. I kind of get I think I get the spirit of what they think they want to accomplish.
I do.
But I think it's a crapshoot. And quite honestly, you know, if they're paying me to be if I'm not good enough to be a professional football player, but I can make couple $1 million hanging around in college.
Right.
You know, I don't know how many people would do that. Even though it's the noble thing, is it the practical thing for someone who might be their athleticism is their way of trying to position themselves. If I'm not a football player, I'm not a coach, what am I?
Well, but over the next 4 years, 5 years, you get to make about $2.5 million. Or you can try to go pro and see if you can make $50 million.
True, but most guys aren't going to do that. There's this whole move with this whole NIL thing and the fact that you can transfer every year.
Right.
If you know you're not quite guaranteed to be a pro pick, but you know you can play at the college level, for 4 or 5 years you can make a good living.
And the coaches are just mad because they don't get to put players into slavery and trade them and control them and tell them what to wear and where to go. Now they have control over their own life, and now they don't like it. They're reacting the same way whites did when black people got out of slavery.
I kind of get it, but it's if you didn't have this deal where the college player can basically be a mercenary year after year after year, it's hard to see how that gets any traction.
Right.
You'd almost be better off having professional athletes say we're not playing.
Yep.
That would have more of an impact.
Yep.
Because if I'm a professional player, I already got my money, right?
Right.
And I just decide, you know what, we're not playing. Something would potentially be done because it's not easy to replace a professional football player.
Look, Colin Kaepernick did it. He still had to play. If Colin Kaepernick was in college, we would never know what his name is today because they would have got rid of him so fast.
Okay, but the other side is if Patrick Mahomes said, I'm not playing.
Right. That would mean something.
Or Tom Brady.
Yep.
I'm not playing.
Yep.
That would make a huge difference.
Yep.
It's a good idea, but it's at the wrong level.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Take care. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I got calls. I got talking text. Mellison is holding on. We'll get to you. Top 5 at 5 and phone calls up next.
The Brew Crew are back on June 2nd.
Fly ball center field. It's hit well. Grisham back. It is gone!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they play the San Francisco Giants.
Got him swinging. Threw him a curveball. It's 11 Ks for Mizorowski.
Brewers baseball is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in June 2nd at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee or check your local listings to watch the game.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
This is my first time calling in, but I listen to you all the time, and I appreciate you and with Bill Brown and everything you stand for and everything that you do. So I want to say thank you so much for being you.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017.
Hey, man, this station is on fire the last couple days.
Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I got to get myself a jingle. Like the Empire commercial. I used to think when I was growing up that the only place Empire was in Chicago. And then I moved to Milwaukee, or I would travel, and I would see that idiot 588-2300 Empire, and I was like, huh? And I realized, oh, okay. Pretty, but anyway, I digress. I just thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was kind of like, interesting. 3 minutes after the hour, 51 degrees. High today was only 57. It feels like 46 degrees because, got a little bit of a wind, but, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how winds are from the northeast at about 12 miles an hour. So that's what's making it feel like a little 46-degree day. So, yeah. So you might hear it in my voice. I'm a little tentative. So I may as well, I'll say it first. Here it is. All right?
Number 5.
Fox 6 now. Aaron Rodgers' retirement. This is it, he says. Upcoming season. My response. Who cares? Next.
Number 4.
Just why would we care? Dude is gone. Why do people do that in Wisconsin? Why do people do that all over the world? oh, they left us, and so now we have to track them because we think they're terrible because they left. They did it to Brett Favre. They did it to, like, who cares? They're gone. It's like an umbilical cord just stuck to them. Oh, my God, I'm stuck and they can't let them go. Well, I know somebody that might get let go. This from Fox 6 Now. This is an update on who's watching the watchers. A second officer, the police department disclosed during a fire and police commission meeting. No formal charges have been filed in the second case, but they said an officer is on full suspension pending the outcome and investigation of flock cameras. We talked about it the other day. Now it's official. They're looking into, but didn't really give any information. Now, boop, they're on it. And the person has been suspended. And now we are looking into that. So we need an update on the Midtown data center because they're trying to put – so, boy, when I tell you about this, it just clicked.
Number 3.
This from Milwaukee Neighborhood News Service. The article goes, one thing that's clear about the proposed development of the former Walmart Midtown Center that would use a portion for data center processing. Community members want more information. Sherman Park resident Sherry Scott said that I'm open to hearing what it's going to be about, but I moved. Here's what it didn't dawn on me until I realized the first story they moved was what? The first story they moved was, hey, the library on Capitol is moving. It's going to move into where the Walmart is. Oh, that's cool. Got people to support it. Oh, and by the way, across the way is going to be a data center. Huh? The City Plan Commission removed 2 items related to the project zoning from its meeting agenda for May 18th, a couple days ago, after organizing groups shared public documents about the project on social media. People want to know everything, said Mabel Lamb, executive director of the Sherman Park Community Association. I think it's appropriate, and they should be allowed to ask questions and have some clarity. Makes sense. Spokesperson for the Department of City Development said it's seeking clarifying details on the technology portion, but the proposal has not used the language of data center. How stupid is that? Like, what? It's not a data center. It's just got computers and servers and okay. Only 10,000 of the 19,000 square feet would be used for a data processing, computer services, computer research facility. That's called a data center, stupid. Wow. That's amazing. That is an example of how politicians and officials, I heard something cool today. We shouldn't give term limits to politicians. We should give term limits to people that work for the city. You only get 20 years, then you got to go. We will gladly pay higher taxes, but we'll actually get what we want because no matter what you do, your time is limited, and we got to re-up your contract every 4 years. So instead of the politician leaving, the politician can stay. But the people that work there got to get rid of them because they become entrenched. And then you get spokespeople for the city development, and it doesn't have the language of data center. Well, what? Huh? It's just data processing and computer services and computer research and a research facility, but not. Oh, my gosh. Makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. The new project description describes using 10,000, like I said, of the 19,000 square feet of space for high-performing computing with offices for engineers and a lab that'll house equipment running various research models. Backup generator. And so I wonder who's supposed to work here. Because I just wonder. sounds strange to me.
Number 2.
From, we talked about it, ex-city attorney Tierman Spencer charged with bail jumping, already facing 2 felonies. City attorney Tierman Spencer's been charged with violating conditions of his bail because they tried to get him to give up his phone. He didn't want to. They were going to arrest him, so they gave it up. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that works out. We kind of care a lot about that the same way we care about Rodgers' retirement. You know?
Number 1.
Well, this is the second day in a row that I've noticed this, and I don't know if it's a trend. It doesn't seem to be warm enough, and it seems like it happens in the cold months. But from WISN.com, a major house fire spread to neighboring homes in Milwaukee's Franklin Heights neighborhood, forcing evacuations and drawing a massive emergency response. Around 5 a.m. this morning at 20th Street across the Union Cemetery, with crews arriving to find heavy smoke and flames engulfing multiple structures. Deputy Chief Ron Fernrohr said the 2.5-story home was fully engulfed in fire when the first unit arrived on the scene. Within 4 minutes, crews transmitted a second alarm, doubling resources to approximately 60 firefighters. The fire spread to homes on both sides. 20th Street was completely shut down. Crews brought in additional equipment and water to battle the blaze, and the deputy chief said the cause of the fire has not been determined. No injuries to firefighters or occupants were reported, and the number of displaced residents remain unknown. Red Cross has been contacted. A resident who was evacuated told WISN 12 News that 5 people were inside the home where the fire started, and all were able to get out safely. The problem is it then moved to 2. Isn't that the second fire that has started and moved to a new structure? Like that's kind of weird. That's a little different. So in 2 days, or roughly 3 days, we've had 2 fires that have basically done the same thing. Interesting. 833-212-1017 is the number. But we come back, we got talk and text, we got YouTube chat, we got questions. If you want to answer a question, 833-212-1017 is the number. Do you have the confidence to overcome your fear? And be asked a question cold. I got 30 of them, so I'll never run out. But we'll do like we did before. I think Todd was the only one that won last time because he was bold enough to call in to be asked simple questions. But they're kind of dumb questions, too, because it's hump day, right? You don't want anything that's going to make your head hurt, but, I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris.
Coming with straight truth.
We can do anything when it comes to being organized, when it comes to making sure that we're active, when it comes to making sure that we're holding people accountable and making sure that we get something out of the deal. Y'all don't know how to make deals. Y'all mad at Donald J. Trump because he's trying to make deals or trying to say that he's the master of the art of the deal. Well, okay, what deals is you trying to make?
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
The Brewers' annual Pride Night is coming up Friday, June 12th, and everyone's invited to keep the Pride Month party going at the ballpark, featuring special events highlighting Milwaukee's LGBTQ community, like a local makers market, a national anthem performance by pop duo Reina, and more Pride activities all around American Family Field. This year's Brewers' Pride Night is a party you don't want to miss. Grab your seats today at brewers.com/community nights.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Until justice stands for all, our lawyers will never rest. More at earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020.
And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a Bright Focus Foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Hey, Joe, working again? Retirement was boring, huh?
Not boring. Expensive. Food, medicine, rent. Social Security just isn't enough.
I know, and that's why I used benefitscheckup.org. It connected me to an extra $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month?
Benefitscheckup.org is a free service from the National Council on Aging.
Free? I'm going to benefitscheckup.org today.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hemisphere. Somebody tell them people Mr. Him is here.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mr. Him is here.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mr. Him. Combo short like.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me look on here. Let me go back. Ooh, I missed a lot. Wayne said a lot. Wayne and Todd said a lot. A boycott can never harm the same people it was intended to help or protect. It can cause inconvenience, but not harm. Asking the players to participate in the boycott by giving up NIL money is insane. Yes, it is. Todd said, Dr. Ken, that's a ridiculous proposition, having black athletes do the efforts required by politicians to achieve the politicians' goals, just plain lazy and disgusting. Wayne said, Dr. Ken, a better form of protest would be to ask, do NIL recruits in to not sign with any, say, Alabama. I get it. Okay. So ask NIL recruits not to sign with Alabama while creating a pipeline for that talent to go to, say, Georgia. Then you would see change. I don't know if you would see change. I think the issue is, why are you attacking state schools? Like, that's just the weirdest thing to me. That just makes no sense. I don't get it. Let me check the YouTube chat. I just don't get it. That just makes no sense. I just don't get it. Mal said, dang, Dr. Ken, be nice to have Aaron Rodgers. He owned the Bears for a few seasons. Yeah, but he doesn't own anybody now. You know why? Because every team goes every way. Right? It just is what it is. Wow. That's unfortunate. But I don't think that'll happen. So any answers to any questions, give me a call. 833-212-1017 is the number. Now these are silly questions, all right? But I got to ask you the question, so you got to give me a call. I mean, if you're brave enough. If you're brave enough. 833-212-1017. And I might have put a couple of them in the YouTube chat because some of them are just questions that I just had to go, wait, what? That kind of makes sense. If you want me to give you an example, you got to give me a call. 833-212-1017. If you're nice, I'll take it on the talk and text line. Not the YouTube chat, but the talk and text line. Anybody want to take a question? Let me give you an example. Give you an example and then give you my answer. Have you driven in rush hour traffic? Yes. Then why do they call it rush hour but nobody moves fast? Like, I've never understood that. Why do people say sleep like a baby when a baby wakes up every 2 hours? Like, I'm not really, like, it just makes no sense to me. You got a remote TV at home, Zach? You got a remote for a TV?
Yeah.
Why do people press hard on a remote when the batteries are dying? Like, I've never understood that. Oh, the battery's dying. Let me press harder. Like, what? It don't work. I've just never understood that. I also learned never to have a gym membership. Never to have a gym membership at all, because it makes no sense. Like, a gym membership just, like, it was a waste of time and money. I had one for a minute during COVID, and then afterwards I'm like, okay, so does it make sense to run in a mask in a gym where I'm supposed to? Anyway. Todd, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. I'm very well. How are you, sir?
Good. You must seem to be the only brave one here. I thought Wayne was going to be brave, but, you know, some people just I had to throw that little poke out there. All right.
Well, I guess it's fire in the hole, sir. Fire in the hole.
All right, so here's the question.
All right.
Why do people buy expensive gym memberships just to walk on a treadmill when sidewalks are free?
Well, I would say that maybe they want maybe to meet other people in the gym, to give them self-encouragement, and to look cool and think they're cool.
Okay. And look, and so when you answer, I'm going to rate your answer, right? I'm going to rate your answer between what, 1 and 5 or 1 and 10?
Let's make it good. Let's go 1 to 5, though. It's probably a 1 or a 2.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3.
Oh, well, thank you. That's,
okay.
That's wonderful.
Why do we tell kids not to talk to strangers, but then force them to shake a stranger's hand?
Because I think, you know, maybe in our generation, Dr. Ken, you and I, that's the way it was, and maybe that's was passed down to them, and they think it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
What's the rating on that? That's got to be a 2. I don't know. Maybe a 1.
Oh. Here's a good one. Why do schools teach students to avoid copying, but businesses call that best practices?
Well, it's bringing the children up the right way, not to copy.
But when I get in business, I see what another company does, and then I do what they do. I copy it.
Right. Well, that kind of goes back to that theory with, you know, everyone has, you know, turf. You know, the big guys have turf, and if a company, they try to buy a company, and the company says no, then they try to copy that company, and if they can't copy that company, then they crush them, either through the legal process or
so
cutting
nice.
prices.
You're so nice. Just crush them.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's how it is. You know, everybody has turf. You know, the big guys, everybody has a section of turf. And if, you know, like a while back, Dr. Ken, you had talked about that. It was a black lady that had some internet company. I think it was, I don't know exactly what it was. But the question was, should she sell? And I said, yes, she should, because they'll try to copy her. And if they can't copy her, then boom, then the big guys, they'll take you out, either under litigation or cutting prices.
You're so positive. You are so positive.
Well, the show's called The Truth, Dr. Ken.
Okay. So here's a wow. Why is the person who asks the most questions sometimes treated like the problem instead of the smartest person in the room?
Because Oh, boy, that's
I got him.
Good one.
Ding.
Oh. Yeah, you did.
Finally.
You did,
All
Dr.
right.
Ken. Congratulations. That's a good one.
Right.
Because, well, and then they become ignored because the
Because they're asking too many questions.
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
And they don't want to be threatened either. They don't want to look stupid.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, Dr. Ken. Thank you for taking my call. It's always wonderful talking with you.
Same here. Take care.
Bye.
833-212-1017 is the number. G, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. What's up?
Good afternoon, Dr. Harris. I got an answer for that gym piece that you were speaking on.
Okay, so why do people buy expensive gym memberships just to walk on a treadmill when sidewalks are free?
Well, there's also strength training, like people in our age group is important.
You can't add to the question, player. Come on now. The question was expensive gym just to walk on a treadmill when sidewalks are free. You can't be adding extra stuff that make it make sense. Come on.
But the thing is that treadmill, you can put it on an incline. You can speed it up. You can make it go faster.
You can run upstairs.
You can
take stairs.
You said, see, now you're adding to it now because you
said
it's sidewalk.
It's sidewalk. It's made of concrete.
But I would say because you can add variations to a treadmill, and socialization, just getting out the house, stuff like that. Even if you have stuff at home, which some people got equipment at home just to get out and things like that. That's just my answer for that. So I guess that's all. That's all I got to say.
Well, I got one more question before I go to traffic.
Sure.
Why do people want honesty until honesty hurts their feelings?
Oh, why do people want honesty?
Until honesty hurts their feelings.
That's that's kind of a tough one there. It just depends on the person.
It's supposed to be.
If they got thick skin, like some people can handle it and some people can't.
Why do people want honesty until honesty hurts their feelings?
Well, I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that one. Okay. Maybe that somebody else that But
that's an answer.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. So I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thank you much. Wow, that's 2 in a row. Boop, got him stumped. 833-212-1017 is the number. Some of these questions just kind of throw me. So I thought I'd, throw you. And now with the final traffic check of the day on 101.7 The Truth, here's Debbie Lazaga.
We still have this left lane blocked on westbound 94 right about at 175 to turn northbound. It is a broken down vehicle kind of stuck in traffic there. So delays coming in from before 27th Street, and that stays slow all the way past that, all the way to Hawley Road. You'll be back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way past Moreland Road, and then from Springdale to Highway 164. Eastbound 164 all the way past Barker Road. You're back on the brakes from 76th Street all the way to 35th. We got southbound 43, kind of a hefty ride from Capitol Drive all the way through the Marquette down to the KK River crossing, with the northbound side slowing down from around Beecher all the way up to North Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 43. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and cooler with a high of 55 at the lake, 60 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
So altogether, you're looking at $1,780 for your mortgage and for your property taxes in a year. And that's before you have to deal with, obviously, your water bill and electric bill. That's a steep price that people have to pay. And based off those numbers I just ran, to afford a home like that, you got to make $65,000 a year. But the problem is here in Milwaukee, the median household income is only $54,234. That's out of whack. So again, I am all about affordability. I'm all about people getting homes. But what we have to understand is that until homes are more affordable, you can have a supply and demand problem. But the problem that we have here in the city of Milwaukee is that these prices, when people are listing these houses, they're listing them for prices that people really can't afford. And even if you do get the house and you're paying that, you're living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is not about living paycheck to paycheck. Home ownership is about finding something that fits within your budget and building equity for the future.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I had so many questions. I didn't even know that it was cancer. Now I do. It is cancer. Blood cancer. It's actually one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently. Now, unlike some other forms of cancer, usually there's no tumor. You can't screen for it to prevent it, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time. I didn't feel like eating or doing anything else for that matter. And I know that this can feel scary. But if you know what to look out for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you'll feel more empowered to take the next steps. Like getting in touch with the people who know the ins and outs and can help with everything blood cancer related. Blood Cancer United. They work one-on-one with each person who reaches out to answer questions and offer resources. Blood Cancer United was there for me, and they can be there for you.
Go to bloodcancerunited.org to learn more.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yo, man, me and her got in my jacuzzi, you know what I'm saying? We drank a little champagne, and after that, we took a bubble bath. And then you know after that, you know what happened, right? Huh? Hot thing in the front row, body movement.
Did he say jacuzzi? Like, I haven't heard of a jacuzzi since the 1970s. Like, what? Did dude say jacuzzi? Wow. I'm just saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. I want to get back to the topic of the sports boycott. I am still unclear. You know, I read it. I looked at it during the break. I came back. I just don't understand. I just don't understand the boycott. Like, I don't. So what I plan on doing is to go back and read it. It's on thegrio.com. The Out of Bounds campaign calls for an athletic and financial boycott of public university sports programs that remain silent as black voters are carved out of the political power in the South. It's an article by Garen Keith Gaynor, written on yesterday on The Grio. Congressional Black Caucus, enraged by the Supreme Court's gutting of the Voting Rights Act and subsequent Southern states' elimination of black representation, joined the NAACP's call to boycott athletic programs at public universities, demanding that institutions that remain silent in the face of attacks on black political power speak up or suffer economic consequences. What if they speak up? This is what I brought up. What if they speak up, but when they speak up, they don't really say what you want them to say? What if they speak up and you don't like what they say? Well, Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, U.S. Representative, Democratic leader in the House of Representatives, said this is an unprecedented moment featuring an unprecedented attack on black political representation, therefore requires an unprecedented response. I don't understand what the unprecedented response is, though. They joined together. They called on black athletes and fans to divest their dollars from public state universities where the NCAA Southeastern Conference. So what I'm doing, what are using Google, the SEC conference schools? Is that the right way to say it? We're going to find out. So there's 16 SEC schools, okay? University of Alabama, University of Arkansas, Auburn University, University of Florida, University of Georgia, University of Kentucky, Louisiana State University, LSU. Ole Miss, University of Mississippi, Mississippi State, University of Missouri, University of South Carolina, University of Tennessee, Texas A&M, University of Texas Austin, that's UT Austin, Vanderbilt University, and University of Oklahoma. It includes a mix of flagship public, land-grant universities, one private research institute. Those are the schools. These are the schools that an untold number of black players play at. They're urging incoming college athletes not to attend any university in a southern state that has not publicly condemned the wave of of racially gerrymandering congressional maps that carve out majority black districts to obtain political advantages for the Republican Party in November's midterm elections. Even though it's done by both sides. In this instance, I understand there's upsetting because they messed with the Civil Rights Act. Yeah. I get it. And there should be some action. I don't know if telling students who have a scholarship or NIL deal don't go to school because of something that we think is important. And you'll lose your money, your scholarship, your NIL, everything. Is that same place going to have you when you can try to go to a school or your reputation is then tarnished because you don't have the backing? Because now people don't trust you in that instance. You know, we all have faults. We all have failures. We get it. They said, we believe, is what Hakeem Jeffries said, we believe the silence of these institutions is complicity and will not stand for it. How can you make an institution support you on something you believe in and they don't have to? How do you do that? Maybe I'm missing something, but this is the, fourth time that I've read this article, and I'm sorry, it's not coming back with anything. It's not. And I don't think it'll ever come back with anything because in the end, I don't think anything will come of it, and it'll sound good, it'll sound great, but I don't know if a player is going to give up their NIL money or scholarship money on something that might last a lifetime. And I can't come back and get it. It's not like I can come back and say, hey, can I have it back? EVC said the sports boycott is stupid. I just don't get it. For the life of me. Why wouldn't you boycott? Why wouldn't you boycott professional? They could take the hit. Hey, your contract this year is $24 million. You're making $24 million. What are you boycotting? Like, I don't understand. Me not going to school to get an education. Me not going to school to get an education so I could one day play professional sports. Me going and get an education where I don't have to play a professional sport. I can create generational wealth in 5 years of playing in college because I get 5 years. Now, one thing they'll probably change is eligibility. You get the red shirt, and then you rock 5 years of eligibility. So why not? I know a certain person who went to Seattle and played at UW-Madison and was in grad school when he played football. So it can happen. It can happen. But at some point, are we really going to And the players that it's going to deal with, right? The only players that are going to feel beholden to do it are the black players. And then what? And then when it's the black players, then they lose money, their family, their generational wealth, and they stay stuck. That doesn't make any sense for me at all. You get comments on it. 833-212-1017 is the number. Is this sports thing really something that we need to dive into? Is this something that we really, really need to look into? I don't understand it. I do not understand it. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, I got a story. I got a story. I'm gonna go back to the YouTube chat and the talking text line. It's kind of funny. Wow, Bill, that's a good one. When we come back, I got a great one from Bill. That is a good one. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. More questions. If you're brave, give me a call, and you can answer a few questions. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We'll be back.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
I won tickets last week on your show to see The Wiz. I just wanted to call and say thank you and say I appreciate you. I appreciate the show. I appreciate the station. That was a core memory that was made last night. The Wiz was an amazing performance.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017. Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away. To MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee.
On Thursday, May 28th, join Sharp for the 10th annual Unwrapped MKE from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 3rd Street Market Hall. Unwrapped is an evening of community, creativity, and food. Top area chefs will create gourmet appetizer, entree, and dessert bites using McDonald's ingredients. The fundraiser will support Sharp's STEAM-based education programs, serving thousands of urban elementary students in schools throughout Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Racine. For tickets, visit sharpliteracy.org.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family. They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Congratulations to the class of 2026.
Got a grad to celebrate? Make it easy with a Cousin Subs gift card. Buy $30 in gift cards and get a free 7.5-inch sub for you. Valid on any Deli Fresh or Classic sub. So while you're giving a great gift, you're getting one too. Simple, thoughtful, and way better than a card that gets tucked away. Stop by your local Cousin Subs today. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 44 minutes after the hour. I have to do one thing. That one guy. You're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Dr. Ken?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I just got home from work, so it feels nice to be home. But Dr. Ken, man, don't tell me it's true what's going on. I've heard some terrible, terrible news.
What terrible news have you heard?
Like, come on, is it really true?
What? I don't know what you've heard, so I can't say yes or no.
You're not coming back.
Well, it's not that I'm not coming back. The station is moving forward, and they're going in a different direction, and my services are no longer needed. So I'll be on YouTube every day from 4 to 6 at Dr. Ken's Truth.
On their part.
Well, thank you for that.
Right,
I appreciate it.
YouTube,
but life does go on.
I really appreciated your your podcast. You kind of remind me of my dad, who bashes me a lot. So that's
wow,
why
that kind of feels insulting, but okay.
That's not insulting. I mean, you care. Fathers are always going to care.
No, they're not. Not all of them, but I get it. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But
it's kind of chilly out today.
You helped me. You helped me come out of my shell more, and I used to be so nervous when I called in. I started with Ben jamming, jamming with Juice, and then I went straight into your show, and you guys helped me speak up more. So I appreciate you so much.
Glad to hear that.
Well,
I'm not disappearing
yet.
Very
informative.
I'm not disappearing yet.
Well,
I'll be on YouTube
at you stick around.
Dr. Ken's Truth. So. Careful, right, Dr.
Sweet.
Ken is young at heart. That's what Miles said. I am not young at heart. I am my age. I love it. I act it, my generation, and I can poo-poo, and I can still take your black card, Miles.
Yeah, and I hope I get to see everybody from this.
We'll have some meetups and we'll have some places. We'll go hang out on a weekend and do all kind of stuff. We'll be fine. It'll be great.
Hey, we'll go to that Cigar Fest at the Bavarian Beer House.
There you go. There you go.
That's a fun one, I heard.
There you go.
All right, Dr. K, I'll leave you to it.
All right.
Take care.
All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. My brain keeps going back to this thing, but I don't know. Hey, I just heard a story on JS Online that just broke 47 minutes ago. Longtime Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Paul Van Grunsven is stepping down from the bench in the coming months, and it'll be up to Tony Evers to find his replacement. Who should that be? It's effective the 4th of September. New judge will complete a term that ends July 31st, 2027. Who should that be? I wonder who should it be. 833-212-1017 is the number. Who should it be? Who should take over? 833-212-1017 is the number. And I was actually, oh my gosh, is this serendipity or what? So I was looking at this and I said to myself, what, and yes, I'm going there. What black female could be mayor? What black female could be governor? Who should take over for this judge? Because, we do judges the same way we do other people. They run, and once they get in, we just kind of leave them in like, a lost shoe in a bucket. Yeah, let's just leave it over there. We'll just have it stay and not really bother with all the other stuff. Wow. So, it just dawns on me that, who are we going to tap? Who do you suggest takes over for this judge? 833-212-1017. Preferably a person of color. I'm just saying. Or a woman. Or both. I'm just thinking. Wow. So EVC said Telling young black men to throw away generational wealth for their dream for some useless Democrat politician, I'm reading the YouTube chat, to get a cushy job doing nothing for black people is pure foolishness. Mao said, well, there are currently black athletes making tons of money and only a few of them have reached the billionaire status. And even fewer have secured generational wealth. Well, that's not true. That's not true. First of all, you got to have generations to have generational wealth. So you need 3 generations to say you have generational wealth. So in order to have generational wealth, you have to have it literally be present for 3 generations. Now, if you don't, then you don't have generational wealth. So you have to have wealth from my great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my father, or my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mother. I would be generation number 4. Therefore, we have generational wealth. Depends on what you plan to do with it. Depends on how you generate that particular thing, because some people may already have generational wealth. They just don't have as much generational wealth as somebody else. But they may still have it. They just may not feel. Now, what you have to do is ask, what number, right? Listen to what I'm saying. What number do you need in order to say you have generational wealth? Like 3 generations from now, how much do you believe you need in order to say, yep, I got some money? Like my grandmother, great-grandmother, all that stuff left me some money. So in order to do that, you have to make sure that there's enough money left over for 3 generations. Does that mean if you have $10,000 and you have, $20,000 the next generation and $30,000, then you have generational wealth? Or are we talking about a minimum? What number makes you wealthy? What number makes you wealthy where you can say, I got this? Is it $1 million? If you invest it at 5% and live off of it, you're going to make around $50,000. Is that enough for you to have? Like, all those things play a part in when we talk about generational wealth. And so you don't have to be a billionaire to have generational wealth. You don't have to have tens of millions of dollars to have generational wealth. You just want to live comfortably. That's what I think wealth should do. I'm just saying. For me, living comfortably means when I want to go somewhere, I don't really think about what I have to do in order to get there. I just go to the airport, get on a plane, and go. For me, that would mean I'm good. Not where I live. Well, Mao said that, but the money should be still generated to maintain or increase the wealth. That's because people have to learn to live off the interest and not the principal. You understand what I'm saying? You need to make that bigger. And if you keep, if you keep making that bigger over time, that number of interest will get bigger. That's all you have to do. And then you won't end up like the Vanderbilts, flat broke because you started spending the principal and then it ran out. That's all I'm saying. It's really easy to do. It's easy to look at. Todd said, if I could change my answer to the treadmill question, it would be, they're not critical thinkers. Interesting. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up next. It's great hanging out with you on today. I will see you on tomorrow. Black Book Thursday, the spook who sat by the door. God bless. Take care. Thank you, Zech. Appreciate you. Hey, y'all. God bless. I'm out.
Be quiet.
Chicken head.